How much of a factor does your physical health play into your mental health?
What's our plans for the future? Your plans for the future?
There's one piece of advice you could give to everyone in the world. What do you think it would be?
This is Spitballin with Colin. What's up, guys? How are we? Girls. I shouldn't say guys, but everyone. Anyone who wants to listen to this, who is listening to this. This is Spitballin with Colin. Spitballing with Colin is my new podcast. I've had a few other ones with some great people in the past. Haven't stuck with it. This one is going to be a little different. It's me, the main host, Colin Jocelyn. You'll get to know a little more about me in a bit, but I'll be the main host. Spitballing is a little to do with baseball, but mostly to do with people. And spitballing is just, another word for conversations, dialogues, open discussions about anything and everything, whether it's a friendly discussion with a friend who is prospering in their fitness journey, or a discussion with someone I just met but intrigued about in their, mental well-being journey, or, someone who's really crushing it in the business life and you want to delve in and learn more. Just anybody who intrigues me and I think can bring value to people if they allow themselves to be expressed through certain questions, and questions that are a little deeper, not just all right, how'd you do the business? How'd you get here? Okay, you did hard work. All right. But it's, what'd that feel like on those nights where you couldn't go to sleep because you were worried about yada, yada, or what's it feel like, when you really are trying to lift up 700 pounds on a deadlift? What's that feel like? How heavy does it feel? Just going deep and spitballing and conversating on human emotions, what it actually feels like. Because for many of us, I don't know what percentage, but many of us are never going to deadlift 700 pounds. Many of us, might not make $1 million in a business we create. Many of us won't be able to do Ironmans. Many of us won't be able to whatever. Many of us won't be able to do a lot of things, but I think if you can see that someone else did that, someone else conquered what they conquered, it inspires you to be like, okay, but I can tackle this that's in front of me. Not comparing, but inspiring, and just be like, wow, that person pushed through, I can push through. They're human, I'm human. These emotions that we feel are the same. That person's 700-pound deadlift, or that person, feeling anxious about their business is similar to me being anxious about asking that girl out, or me being anxious about what my parents are going to think if I want to move out and start a new business and whatever. They're similar feelings, they're just different for everybody, because everybody is translating that feeling into a different sense. We're giving that feeling, that emotion, a different meaning to us, because we have something in our life that creates that. So spitballing is going to be deep, meaningful conversations around just humans, just human beings, human emotions, and then better how to grasp them. How we work through it, how this person works through grasping those emotions, how they can give themselves the pep talk to do what they want to do, accomplish what they've accomplished, and how they've worked through that. And also their human sides. One day I said I was going to go to the gym, but it took me a week to get to the gym for the first time. Or I looked up to people that did this, and it made me feel this type of way. It's a human thing that I think we can all relate to. So spitballing is just going to be conversation with that. I'm going to have plenty of guests on, because listening to me talk for however long the episodes are going to be is not going to be the best way to convey messages. So I'm going to start piling guests guess for you guys, guess for me. And we're gonna work through it. And just accomplish whatever we want to accomplish, and you know relate relate on an emotional deeper level with humans. There will be a video aspect of this at some point. I don't really have a great space right now to record a podcast. um I say a lot, don't I? Anyways, we will eventually get video up when I'm interviewing guests in person, or when I do it through Zoom. However, I can get in contact with my guests. We will get video recordings up on hopefully YouTube, but definitely some sort of shorter videos on Instagram. You can follow my Instagram. I'm about to change my Instagram name. So I will link that in the description, or I'll let you guys know on the next episode. Don't know who I'm going to have on the next episode, but I will have a guest. I'm going to reach out to some friends, could be my girlfriend, just talking about the bear, the basics, I guess. Podcast will be once a week. Likely, I want to stick on the same day, so let's say Tuesday mornings they'll be released. And again, just spitballing with Colin, dialogues with people, diving in to human emotions, how to work through problems, how to gain some inspiration, how people solve their problems, how we work through things, how just people we can take inspiration from. We can take inspiration from anybody in this world, from the simplest things. You know, anybody in the world we can take inspiration from. Millions and billions of people, we don't know their story, and this is going to be a platform for what most people would think as average human beings, but they do something extraordinary in their life, and they accomplish or they work through, scenarios that to us might make us feel a little better and inspire us, and hopefully the conversations can bring that level of wow and intrigue about another person's story, because that's ultimately the name of the game. This podcast is going to be ideally to get us to work through our perspectives, change our perspectives, allow us to kind of take a step back, or take a step and kind of look at our lives above and kind of see the whole picture, and kind of try to be able to change things and make more positive shifts. Whether it's like, all right, I always get in this scenario and I feel like this. Okay, this person got in that scenario and they did this, so they didn't feel like that, and now I can try it. And it's kind of what it's going to be. It's going to be elevating our lives together through through story, through dialogue, through conversations with people who have been there before. All the people, every podcast, you might not relate to the person in the podcast, but I guarantee you there's going to be one nugget, one little question answered, one little tidbit of saying that someone had said, and it's going to hit home. It might not change your life. It might not change your life, but it might be like, you know what, actually that does make sense. All right. And that's ultimately what the goal of this podcast is, to just take something away every time and be able to be like, that made sense. What can we do with that? Or is there something to do with this? And if not, it doesn't. You try that change. You try to frame that reference. It doesn't work. All right, come back. The next person's going to have a different perspective. We're going to have hundreds of perspectives on here, ideally. So please stay tuned. That's enough about the podcast. A little about me, Colin Jocelyn, 24-year-old. I don't want to say entrepreneur because I haven't done anything yet, but I mean, in a sense of entrepreneurship, I have with a good friend, Drew Alexopoulos. We were ambitious human beings, so we started Instagram fitness pages. His is still going. Ours together, it's Power Strong Fitness. I encourage you to, if you want to elevate your fitness, not just in the gym and get stronger with new and exciting ways to train, but also what he does outside of the gym in terms of his recovery routine, and how he fuels his body, I guess, in terms of learning and eating. It's a good person to follow. Um, we had started a few Instagrams together. We laid out a bunch of business ideas, and um, none that really came to fruition. We were young, 18 to 20-year-old kids, just trying to be like, yeah, we can make that work. And I think with the right frame of mind, we might be coming back into business together at some point. I think we're both very ambitious, hardworking people that can make something work. But for entrepreneurship with that, yeah, just kind of limited to Instagram. We got wristbands at one point where we had good plans, never put into action. And then now we're me, my girlfriend, and our business partner, Kayla Murphy. Awesome person, such a beautiful soul. You'll get to meet her for sure. Hopefully, a lot of people I have in mind for the podcast. I haven't talked to them about it, but I hope to have her on. She's just such a bubbly person, super smart, super fun. So, but us three are opening a gym called the Lab. It's up here in Massachusetts, Southeast Mass, focused around CrossFit and sports performance, all aspects. All aspects. CrossFit's going to be complete CrossFit. Kayla's going to have her CrossFit level 3, which there's only 3 of 5, and there's only like a handful of people that are CrossFit level 5 coaches in the world. So to be level 3 it's very elite. So she's going to be our expert CrossFitter, CrossFit coach, nailing all things in that aspect. She also works at Noble, which is obviously the leader in the CrossFit space right now for apparel. They own the CrossFit Games now. So she's awesome business partner to have. She is awesome. My girlfriend Kiana, who likely will be on probably next week. She's a certified athletic trainer. No, that is not a personal trainer like you see in a bodybuilding gym. An athletic trainer is the person you see on the sidelines of the football games that come out and visit the person when they're laying on the field. They are almost as credentialed as physical therapists, except for they're not called doctors and they're not legalized by the state, but they know all those modalities in terms of recovery. They can kind of like see and discover injuries. You see athletic trainers working at local high schools if you've ever been involved in athletics. And then you have me, baseball my whole life, coaching baseball for the last 10 years, pretty much, captain for the last 3 of baseball, now retired from baseball. Yeah, retired at 24 kind of sounds funny, but it's pretty good. So, that's like a 3-headed monster of our gym. We're going to have that big CrossFit side, which is going to be a big driver, our main focus, because all 3 of us love and are in CrossFit together. Then you have the middle of the road, which is recovery and sports performance. You're going to have, baseball geared lifts and any sport geared lifts that aren't CrossFit. Obviously, you're not going to train a baseball athlete, a soccer athlete, a football athlete, that you're going to train a CrossFit athlete. So we're going to have that middle ground. And then recovery is mixed in there as well in terms of, ice baths, modalities. At some point in the future, ideally cryotherapy, hot tubs, stuff like that you can get in there once a week, Normatec boots that you can get in there and pay a membership for and use this stuff. And then the third head is kind of what I'm working on, and that is the baseball sector, baseball performance in terms of mechanical analysis, hitting and pitching, working out the kinks and those mechanics, and then also fine tuning fielding, fine tuning hitting, gaining the strength, gaining the ability to get better in baseball aspect. So with those three heads, we're opening the Lab. The website is launched right now. It's trainthelab.com. That's trainthelab.com. So if you're interested, we do have a semi-physical space where you can come work out with us. You kind of need to email us first, because we are renting out the space by the hour. We don't actually have our own gym space because we're just starting out, financially low right now. Just out of college, so we don't have huge finances, but We do have a space if you're interested in getting personal training, or you and some friends want to do some CrossFit classes with us. Let us know. Email us. You can find our link and emails at trainthelab.com. So that's my entrepreneurship working on Train the Lab. I have a bunch of other ideas, but I can't spread myself too thin trying to work on those ideas. We'll see if I can revisit them down the road. So, like I said, we'll wrap this up for you people, and Spitballin with Colin. That's the name of this podcast. I appreciate you guys listening. If you listened all the way, hope to see you again next week, and I hope we can continue to grow and get better together. Thank you.
How much of a factor does your physical health play into your mental health?
What's our plans for the future? Your plans for the future?
One piece of advice you could give to everyone in the world, what do you think it would be?
This is Spitballin with Colin.